In other words, during the Iran-Contra affair, what did they do? Well, they had Israel buy the arms. They put out the front money. Then the United States would take those arms, fly them down to South America, and then they would have their assets fly back, usually not military personnel. I know that I have a guy named Mike Tolliver and others talking about how they would fly the drugs into places like Homestead Air Force Base, and we know Barry Seal and Mena, Arkansas. So they always try to use a front organization or something like that for plausible deniability, and they always try to make the trail so murky by using other nations in these international intelligence crimes. What's your opinion, Peter?
Well, I think, again, there's something to investigate here, and I'm not going to give as clear an answer as I'm sure the questioner would like. During the Vietnam War, we know now that drugs came back to this country in body bags of the cadavers of the victims of the Vietnam War. I mean, it's a horrible, gruesome story, but it's true. It wasn't very high level. This was an offshoot of the fact that organized crime, the mafia, had got into the U.S. Army in Vietnam and were in a position to set this up. Drugs came back once into this country on a plane that was flying Henry Kissinger. But Henry Kissinger didn't know this. It wasn't Kissinger bringing them in. It was people who had corrupted the crew of the plane. Now, right now, Russia and Pakistan and Afghanistan all have high-level people charging that drugs are coming out of Afghanistan on U.S. planes. I don't know if this is true or not. Every single one of the sources I mentioned has a stake. You can't call them impartial or objective. They're people with a stake in this matter. But I would think that if this war goes on much longer, we can predict something like this will happen. I would think it would happen in the same way as it happened before, not because the people at the top have said, hey, this is a neat way to get money into the country, but because you set up you have a lot of planes flying in and out, and you're going to get corruption. In the case of Colombia, I predicted in 1990, when the first President Bush announced his Andean initiative, it was supposed to be a war on drugs down there. I said, I'll bet you we'll have more drugs coming into this country as a result. And boy, was I right. Within 10 years, the acreage devoted to coca growing in Colombia had trebled as a result of our war on drugs, because you have all the planes going in and out and people having a chance to make a private fortune on those.
We'll be back after this. It's the Alex Jones Show, final segment with Peter Dale Scott.
Tyranny is here. The grim future foretold in 1984 has become reality.
It really says that the state is God.
The United States is now recognized globally as one of the most oppressive police states on Earth. This film conclusively proves the existence of a secret network of FEMA camps, now being expanded nationwide. This documentary exposes how the continuity of government program has established an all-powerful shadow state. Police State 4 chronicles the sickening depths to which our republic has fallen. Prepare to enter the secretive world of emergency dictatorship. Body scanners, sound cameras, citizen spies, stage terror, and cameras on every street corner. It's only the beginning of the New World Order's hellish plan. The police state isn't coming. It's here. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or see it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
So I'm really going to give you the floor. What do you think is the most important issue today with this opium drug trafficking that obviously our Central Intelligence Agency has some role in?
Well, first of all, I think we need to get out the truth that we're told now that opium in Afghanistan is controlled by the Taliban. Yes, they have a piece of it, but a much big, maybe 5%, maybe 10%, but a much bigger share is people who are behind the Karzai government. America has done a great deal to create this mess in Afghanistan. I don't want us just to walk away as we did in 1991. That left chaos as a result. I want to end a military incursion that isn't working and replace it with civilian help to the right-minded civilian people there. This is a different kind of anti-war message, but I think it's one that is necessary, and if we don't, I predict that America can find itself in a much worse war a year or two from now than it is even at the present time. So I think it's very urgent, and I hope that the listeners get involved in it.
And Peter, of course, is featured in my greatest film, Invisible Empire, New World Order Defined. You can pre-order it right now. He discusses how he went to McGill University with Zbigniew Brzezinski. He discusses how both Robert Gates and Brzezinski admitted and really bragged that they goaded the Soviets into Afghanistan. They weren't in there previously. He discusses the Gulf of Tonkin. He discusses deep politics and, of course, COG, continuity of government, shadow government roles. It's a very big film. I'm hoping you get it out there. You make copies. You hand it out to your friends and family to awaken them to this system of control. It's no longer a constitutional republic in which we live, and we really have to work hard to mobilize now, as Peter says in this documentary, to find a voice, hopefully through technology, in which we can take this country back. And I think that's so important to not be morally degraded as a society, to be a society when we see our troops acting in a manner of randomly killing reporters and civilians, to stand up and say, no, that's enough. Something has to change, Peter.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't say more about continuity of government on this show, because that is a big important aspect that is worth getting into, and that's something else you can Google for, or particularly on my website you can see.
Absolutely, and some of the best insight out there on the continuity of government program is through Peter Dale Scott. A lot of people still scoff at the idea that a shadow government could even exist. They think it's something that's only in spy novels and James Bond movies, Peter, but it's very real indeed, isn't it?
Well, we had a group of people planning for suspension of the Constitution, which was implemented on September the 11th. Some of those people weren't even in the government, and the miracle is that because the media have never really talked plainly about this, most people don't know that these plans were implemented on September the 11th.
Absolutely. Find out more at peterdalescott.net. Alex Jones is coming up after the break. Go get Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Police State 4 right now over at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.tv.